Oh, do I have a lesson for you today? This is probably one of the hardest lessons I've learned now since I was like 18. I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. Stay focused. And these are hard to confess because nobody was there for me when I learned these lessons. But these were the most beneficial for me when I was alone for quite a bit of time after high school. So I encourage you guys to write these down, take notes, and put them into your life because I love y'all. Stay tuned. Number 1, strangers are more supportive than friends. Obviously, as you guys know, I have notes written down throughout all this, so it's going to be quite the hike. But stay comfortable, stay calm. We got a good lesson today. Strangers are more supportive than friends. The harsh truth, the people closest to you often won't clap for you until strangers do. It's not always about jealousy. Sometimes it's just familiarity. People who've known you forever struggle to see the new version of you. Now, I wrote this one, strangers are more supportive than friends, because over time, whether if that was art versus if that was music versus if that was YouTube, most of the times in my life when I met strangers through car meets, whether if that was strangers on the internet, they were always so supportive, no matter what I uploaded, versus if it was like something that was really, really bad or versus something that was really, really good. They were always very supportive in the comment section, willing to reach out, tell me what's up, give me advice, just always being there. Like this one says, friends are too familiar with you, so they know you way too well, and when you have a new version of yourself, it kind of puts them in a shock, and it makes them want to stay distant from you because, like I was telling you in the last law, but this isn't about laws, people are too familiar with you. They're scared of you when you're getting ahead because they don't know what you're going to do next. They want to stand away. They want to stand far. But when you start getting into the YouTube field, car stuff, you're going to meet a lot of strangers in car meets. And they're going to support you, motivate you, encourage you. And the opposition side of this, too, is that strangers are very critical, too. When you need judgment, they're going to tell you judgment straight to your face. When they give you judgment, they're going to be bold in the comment section. And that's what you need. Friends, when they give you advice on certain videos, they're going to give you the bland, it's okay. Or they're going to give you the, it needs a little bit of adjusting here. But they're not going to be critical. That's why I love strangers when it comes to me starting in something new and needing the judgment versus friends. Number 2, growing up, I came with this up because I was struggling to find friends. And this one is my favorite. Become the friend you've always needed or wanted. Stop waiting for someone to save you. Be the listener, be the motivator, and the rock you've been searching for. When you become that person, you stop feeling empty, waiting for others to fill the void. When you start becoming the friend you've always needed, you don't need external validation through anybody. I mean, obviously, we already have validation through God and Jesus Christ, but specifically when it comes to not being religious and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you're being that person for yourself because you don't need that external validation. When you're alone and insecure within yourself, you're going to need other people's approval for things because it gives you character. It makes you feel like you're somebody. But the thing is that when they start judging you on the fact that you're this and you're that, and you're not this and you're not that, you start becoming the social norm. You start becoming the person that everybody is. You know, there's going to be 1 billion Jeffreys. That's just a quick example. Rather than being that one Jeffrey or that one Juan. And when you start cultivating this idea of developing yourself and becoming that person, you will attract the friends you've always wanted. And I'm a living evidence of that. I started becoming a person that talks good to myself. I started becoming the person that encourages myself, becoming more creative, stepping outside of the box. And next thing you know, I was finding people who are outside the box too. But the problem is if you start becoming like other people, you start becoming boxed in, just like everybody else. And the thing is, you want to separate yourself because you know once you separate yourself through those other people, you start becoming unique. You start becoming a person with actual personality. You start becoming a person of character. You become ballsy. You become ambitious. And you decide to take more risk. And that's what I like about becoming the friend you've always needed. Because when you get there, you don't need validation through anybody. The only person that needs validation is yourself and through God. And that's it. Number 3, consistency will always outbeat quality. If you're like me, you are a person that looks at stuff and says, it's not a matter about how good it is. Integrity is a thing, yes. Consistency and integrity play a role together. But when you're focused on consistency and quality, it starts becoming more bothersome. You start overthinking when you start thinking about quality. You start being more anxious and more stressed. Consistency is a matter of coming in every day, uploading a video, going out there, doing a couple of push-ups, talking to somebody, saying, hi, good morning, how are you, when you're shy. Consistency is a thing. I didn't tell you to go out there and have a full-on conversation with a stranger for 15 minutes. All I want you to do is start by saying hi, and then progress to, hi, how's your day? It's about developing momentum. When you have this momentum, nothing can stop you. And the momentum starts with day in by day. The momentum keeps on going on itself. I think the habit in Atomic Habits, I think it starts within like a month or 60 days, something like that. So when you develop this momentum month after month after month, it becomes a habit and it becomes new and it becomes established. Posting weekly average content will take you further than one perfect post every month. Reps equal rare gems. When we use YouTube as an example, when you're consistently uploading to YouTube, somebody explained it to me like this. One of your videos can hit anytime that day. If you're uploading 6 videos a day, 7 videos a week, one of those 7 videos will hit. You don't have to be in a rush. There's no rush in this life. Just as long as you're consistent and you're doing what you need to do to get ahead. You're doing what you need to do to get that post out, to get that video out, to get that short out, to get that homework done, to get that project done. It motivates you. It creates this snowball effect of motivation and ambition. And people always like to say, do it once, but do it with quality. But my thing is that you don't get enough by doing it once a week. You know what I mean? It's like hitting the gym once a week. You don't get anything out of that. But if you're hitting the gym 5 times a week and you're taking 2 days to take a break and become creative, knowing what workouts you want to do next, that's a lot more healthier than doing 1 workout a week, or versus doing 8 workouts a week and not getting rest, because it's unhealthy. But as long as you stay consistent, you will follow through and you'll become a better person the next time you know it, especially on camera too. Do this repetition, you'll become good at camera. My speech isn't that good, but we're motivating ourselves. We're trying new things every day. Like I'm doing scripts right now, but I'm adding my own little twist to it, you know? Consistency is key. That's it. Number 4, this one was a harsh truth for me. Don't expect everyone to like you. Trying to be liked by everyone is exhausting and fake. Your tribe will find you when you stop trying to impress and start being real. When it's exhausting to try to fit into cliques. If that's friend circles of 5 people or 2 people, or having that one friendship and you've been faking it throughout the whole way, it's hard. It's exhausting. It's detrimental to your health and to your mental health too. So what I mean by don't expect everyone to like you is be yourself. Be your genuine self. If you're critical with people and you give judgment based on like honesty, be that person. Don't hold back your judgment just because of the fact you're afraid of hurting somebody's feelings. Just do it. If you're that person that's creative and want to post anime videos every day and make reaction videos on it, but you're too embarrassed because you feel like people are going to judge you, no, go ahead and do that thing. Heck, I love anime. I love building computers. I love collecting fragrances. And I like expensive hobbies. It is just that. I like my creative side, and there's a lot of things I like, and you have to be ballsy enough to fall into that loving aspect about yourself. and it takes time to develop. But I think it's more about personal encouragement to help yourself fall through with that, because your external factors, work, friends, family, they will all kind of judge you and put you in a box and say, well, when you grow up, you were this person, so you have to be this person still. No, you can grow all you want. It doesn't matter. If you want to become that person, be that person. Don't let anybody stop you, because that's the genuine you, and you want to dig that out and find that out for yourself. Number 5, this is my favorite. I think I've said that like 2 times. Anyhow, develop a habit of creativity before you become a social norm. If you only start creating after everyone's doing it, you'll always be catching up. Innovators build before the crowd arrives. Build that habit now so you don't fade into the background later. It goes back to the law that I did yesterday about blending in too well and being the person in the background when you start being too familiar to everybody else. And I like this one because of the fact that it's about being creative. Don't be the person that says, well, this person did this person did that, so I have to do that. No, you don't have to do any of that. You see me posting videos here randomly about the most disgusting fragrance that I've ever sampled. That one time that I broke a coil spring on a car or something like that. You'll always see random videos here that are not popular. And it's because I'm stepping out of the box and keeping my creativity personal and keeping my creativity as my own, as my signature style. You know, when you don't have to conform yourself to other people, that's the highest form of confidence you can ever have. Because you're not letting judgment stop you. Creativity is a habit that's established by listening to audiobooks. At least that's how I stay creative. Listening to your mental space and what it's saying to you about what you should do. And it's also about being authentic. When you're authentic and honest, it sets you apart from people. Not a lot of people are authentic and honest. Most people are fake, they're egotistical. They're just thinking about themselves and what they can do to get ahead. But if you are the person that's seeking to being creative and being the person that's different and set apart, and I amplify this 100%. I say this a lot because it's true. You want to be the person that's the most creative in the room. Because at the end of the day, if everyone's thinking the same and you're thinking the opposite, they're going to look up to you. And I don't know about you guys, but if I see somebody in the room that's thinking completely different than everybody else, I wonder what they're thinking in their head. And I'm wondering what projects they have going on and what successful goals they have on their plate. And that's it. Number 6, parents fear risk more than they trust your vision. What do I mean by this? And I like this one a lot. All these are fire. All these are absolute fire. Most parents aren't against you. They really aren't. They're just afraid for you. They grew up in a survival mode, not dream mode. When you chase something risky or unconventional, like starting a business or becoming a creator, starting your own personal brand, you're choosing a non-traditional path. So they pull back, not because they doubt you, but because they doubt the world. They want safety, you want success. And that gap, that's where misunderstanding lies. I started pursuing, it kind of goes to the last one that I said, but it starts about pursuing creativity and stepping out of your comfort zone. And you have to take those risks. You have to quit that job. You have to drop out of college. A lot of success stories, what you'll realize about risk is they either dropped out of college, they stopped going to school, or they couldn't pay attention to school because this ambition about them, and they're picturing what they have in their mind, they want to express it in the real world. And I've felt like that many a times with, I have this idea, I have that idea, I want to do that drawing, I want to do this on my whiteboard or whatever it is. It's that you have that ambition and that motivation to go forward, and it sets a fire in your heart that doesn't stop. And when you can't stop, that's when you found the purpose in your life. But the problem is that when it comes to parents, they're just so loving and caring for you. They don't want you to take the risk. They want you to be safe. And that's why most of the time I don't talk to my parents about my plans. I don't talk to my parents about the goals that I have in my life, because they always try to find a way to knock it down and give you the social norm of go to college, graduate, get a good job, get a family, get a house. And that's what everybody does. If you want to be different, set yourself different. And that might mean starting a new social circle. That might mean being by yourself. And this is the lesson that was hard for me to learn, because if you don't have anybody, you usually lean to your parents. What helped with this was having God in my life, talking to God, praying to God, or reading the Word, and really trying to see what God says about ambitious people and about my plans. Like, one of the things is this a plan that's going to push you away from God? That's one of the questions for Christians who are ambitious. Number 2, is this falling through with God's plan? If God says it in the Bible, and it says it in the Bible in a genuine, honest way. Obviously, the Bible doesn't come back voided, but make sure it falls into God's plan. That's basically the way. I don't want to try to ramble on too much, but if I wanted to become a drug dealer, for an example, obviously it's not falling through in God's plan. That's not what he wants for me. But let's say, for an example, he wants to be a YouTube creator. Okay, yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. God agrees with that. Just as long you're not destroying his name or talking smack about him, And that's how you know. But parents are just careful for you. They don't mean this to do harm. They just do this out of ambition of being in survival mode. But the thing is, you're not in survival mode anymore. You have dreams to chase, and you can chase those dreams carefully, but be aggressive about it too. And my last point is, it's better to walk alone in truth than be surrounded by disguises. Pretending to fit in drains you faster than solitude ever will. And I can agree with this 100%. When you fake your identity to keep friends' approval or comfort, you lose the most valuable thing you have, yourself. Being a lone wolf isn't about isolation. It's about preservation. Sometimes the path to purpose requires you to stand alone until the right ones recognize your realness. So in this lifetime, what you'll realize is that people will come and go. And when you're forcing friendships into your life, it comes off desperate. And I said this last time about relationships too. When you're coming off desperate in any relationship you're in, it kind of sets people off in the wrong way and you become repulsive. But if you're patient, you separate yourself, you focus on your goals, the people that want to be your genuine friend will come in. You don't have to force friendships upon anybody. And for the past couple of, I would say like a year or two that I've been in solitude, I'm dating obviously, but most of the time I don't keep a lot of friends around. It's because those people will come in, and I truly believe those people will come in naturally. Or part of God's plan, they'll come in. Whether if it's to motivate me for a season, help me for a season, or it's for me to help them for a season. You always have to keep a good mindset on you that those people will come. And when you are alone, stay used to being alone, because you're never alone through God. God is always there to have your back, tell you his plan, and keep you close to him. God loves you, and understand that. So you're never alone. But here's a couple tips. Authenticity is magnetic. When you stop faking yourself, the people who actually align with you will start showing up. Number 2, silence is safer than pretending. It's okay to be quiet and misunderstood for a while. That beats being loud and loved for a version of you that's fake. Silence speaks more than anything. And I said this with the last law, is that you don't need to speak a lot. You really, really don't. Let your silence talk. Let your character talk. Let what they know about you already talk. You don't need to overtalk yourself, because it's detrimental to you. Talking to you does not win anything. Talking about yourself doesn't win anything. Bragging, same idea. Number 3, build inner strength first. Learn to be content by yourself so you're never desperate to belong. Confidence grows in solitude. And I can agree with this 1,000%. Most of my confidence comes from being in front of the camera, going to the gym, working out, eating healthy. And then number 3 is just knowing I'm good looking, even if you have to fake it till you make it type of thing. Just know that you're in a good spot. Know that your mental space could be a little bit faked over time, but understand that you'll get used to it. Solitude is about inspiring yourself, being in your creative space. You can't be in a creative space with a circle of fake people, because you'll come up with fake ideas. But if you're in your natural solitude state with yourself, and you know you're being genuine with yourself, genuine ideas will come. And you don't have to be desperate for it again. So stay encouraged, that's going to be it. That was the hardest lessons I've ever learned in my life, talking about being the friend that you've always wanted, and strangers motivating you more than friends and being more supportive than friends. That's going to be it for today's video. Hope you found this video motivational. Comment below which one you liked more. And I'll see you guys later. I love you guys, and God loves you too. Peace out.
That's just fourth gear. Somewhere deep down in my heart.